Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well on this wonderful Sunday. Hi, Body. Thank you for coming on and watching. Waiting on my guests to come on. They'll be on in just a few minutes. And there's, uh-oh, I think we have some technical difficulty, so hopefully I can bring her back on in a minute. And then we will get started as soon as there she is. There's one of my
So
guests.
can you read? Can you read? I want to do it from my computer. This is on my phone.
Okay. Let's see. Not
So I'm,
sure how
so
I could
I'm gonna
do it.
log out. I'm gonna log out, and then I'm gonna see if it'll do it from my computer.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Right.
so you log out and then I'll bring you back in. Hi, Kennedy. Uh-oh. So give us a couple of minutes. Looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties on one of my guests in. So hopefully she can be able to get on. Thank you. Yes, today we are celebrating my 9-year cancerversary. God is so amazing. Hi, Rivera. Give me 1 second. A couple of my guests are having some difficulties trying to get in. So we're trying to get them in so we can get started with this wonderful conversation this chat today that we're going to have in the tea room. It is a beautiful day out. Thank you, Miss Gwen. Miss you and love you. Tell everybody I said hello. All right, here's one of my guests that's coming on. They are being added just right now. So hang tight, everyone, and we're going to get started in just a few minutes. Technology for you. Technology for you. All right. For my fellow educators out there, especially the ones that are in my district, hope you're getting ready for tomorrow, getting your mind right. I know I am trying to get there. Starting new school year. Okay. Hey. All right. There is one of my guests coming in. Can you hear me?
Yes, how you
Good.
doing?
Oh, I can hear you. Oh, perfect. I am good. So we're waiting on one more guest to come on. And hopefully she will be here in just a minute. I think there she is. And I am so. Oh, she's on my computer. So okay, there she is. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hey, hey, I am so thankful that you all are on today. So let's go ahead and get this chat started. Hello, everyone. This is Tisha, your favorite breast cancer survivor from Tisha's Tea Room, the place where conversations conquer cancer. I am so excited to have these two guests on today. Today is a special day for myself because I am celebrating my 9-year cancer anniversary today. So, what better way to celebrate this wonderful occasion than to, of course, do Tisha's Tea Room and have these powerhouse thrivers on for today. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Let's get the chat going. Today is going to be a wonderful day. So, my two guests that I have on, the first guest that I want to talk with, that I want to bring in first, is I met this thriver at one of our survivor meetups. She is a writer from that writes with the New York Times. I'm like, do it, girl. And she is just a sweet and wonderful person. She is a thriver. She is doing big things. So I want to first and foremost welcome Miss Jan Branson to the tea room. Hi, Jan.
Hi, thank you for having me. But
Oh,
yeah, I just say congratulations to you. I'm so
thank
very happy
you.
for your 9th year cancer anniversary. It's so huge. So congrats to
Thank you
you first and foremost. Yeah.
so very much. So let's start with you first. I want to talk with you, and then I'll bring introduce my next guest right after I finished chatting with you for a few minutes. So just for a couple of minutes, just tell us about share your breast cancer journey. So how were you when you were diagnosed? What treatment did you receive? What was your stage of diagnosis? So forth, so on.
Yeah, so I was 30 and a half. I had just celebrated turning 30 and I had moved back to New York after living in Boston, and I was moving in with my partner at the time. Like life was really good, and yeah, I got the diagnosis. I felt the lump. I did not think about breast cancer. It was not something that, as a 30-something-year-old, I
Right.
thought I could ever get, that ever touched. I didn't know that it was also something that, my family had experienced too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just one day I'm laying down and I felt like the lump. And I'm grateful that I did. And, I ended up saving my own life ultimately. And I was diagnosed with stage 2
Okay.
HER2 positive and hormone positive breast cancer. So yeah, it's obviously, a shocker when
Oh,
you get that
absolutely. I can
first.
only imagine.
Yeah, yeah, because you're like, why, right?
Right.
Like, why anyone, but just, just
Just
why? So,
we've all been through that. And then to get diagnosed so young, you were in your 30s. I was in my 30s when I got diagnosed. And that's, like you said, that's the last thing that we ever think about. Because I know for me, when I got diagnosed, I was always under the impression that, cancer was something that older women got,
Right.
not young people like young adults like us. And then as I went through my journey, learning that women younger than me, in their teens, in their 20s, were getting diagnosed. So that was a big shocker for me. So, and your type cancer, because I was early stage cancer, early stager. I was stage 2B, and then your cancer. It seems like now it is being, that's one of the most common. A lot of women now are being diagnosed with HER2, HER2 positive, yes, cancer. So,
Yeah.
what was your treatment?
So I went through, well, first I had surgery.
Mm.
I had right
Okay.
mastectomy, no reduction. I was a big girl. Um, and then I did ACT for chemo treatment, and I also did Herceptin after
Yep.
chemo. And now I'm on letrozole, which I take every day, and I get a monthly Lupron shot. That was my treatment.
Okay. And we are now, when I was reading your bio, we're now 5 years in.
5 years, yes, in
We celebrating that. Come on, 5 years. Come
May.
on, 5 years. Yes.
Yeah,
The big,
yeah.
big milestone.
Yes,
Absolutely.
time flies,
Yes.
and you don't realize it. It's just like, wow, like I got here. So I'm grateful. I'm really grateful.
We celebrate every day, but when we get to those milestones, it's just something, you know, for me, just like God has us here for a reason. Um, there's a greater purpose, and there's always a lesson. My aunt always said, when things happen, what's the lesson what's the lesson that you need to learn out of this? So I am so grateful that you are here, you are healthy. How was your support system when you got diagnosed? What was your support system like? Did you join any online groups? How did that help, and how did that help you in your breast cancer journey?
So my initial support group was obviously my friends and my family, but you do get to a point where you're like, okay, I need someone who's been through this to kind of walk me through it. And luckily, like I don't even know how, but I learned that one of my favorite elementary school teachers
Mm,
had breast cancer.
okay.
And I don't know how that I told her, but she was like, well, me too. And she kind of gave me like the playbook on what I need to know, what I need to ask, what I need to do. And then I started sharing my story a little bit more with friends. And I had one girlfriend say, oh, I know someone who's been through that. Let me connect you. And she was very active in the breast cancer community with YSC. And she was probably the one that really, really got me through it, because she was also diagnosed at 30
Mm-hmm.
and said, this is what you're going to expect. And so I also tried to connect with groups at the time, but I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I was at where I was still I was taking on what I was dealing with, but if I heard stories from other people, I took that on too. So I couldn't really do the group settings. And I think that's also important too, to like know like where you're at in your journey, and that it's okay that if you're not ready to do like the group setting,
Absolutely.
that maybe one is more like your approach. But yeah, so I definitely had like fellow survivors in my corner.
Okay.
Hmm.
Wow. Wonderful. And it's always good. I always tell everyone, get that support, because you don't want to go through this alone, and having that support system really helps you with your journey, because they can be there for you when you don't have the strength to keep pushing, or when you get discouraged. They can be there. They're your biggest cheerleaders. They can help hold you up when you just want to just give up. But I'm so glad that you had that support system to help push you through, to help get you to where we are right now.
Yeah.
And I know that, so now that you are 5 years in, and we talk about advocacy and how we can, advocacy work, and how we can educate, and how we can spread the word about breast cancer, especially with with people of color, because we die at a 40% or higher rate than other women, and than other women, in other counterparts. Do you are you at a point in your life, are you comfortable with sharing your story, or to others, to educate them, just to let them know that hey, I'm not that Jan went through this too. If Jan could go through it and beat it, then I know that I can do it. So how do you do anything to, again, to educate or to just help bridge that gap?
Yeah, and you know
Sharing your
what?
story.
We spoke about this briefly, and I thought about it. And I was like, I do.
Yes, you do.
So yeah, after meeting women that have gone through this or who are actively going through this, I'll definitely like share tips and information
Yeah.
on maybe the best place to get care. Like there was one woman I met at the recent YSC convention, and she was talking about her journey, and she lives in New York. I'm like, you should maybe check out Sloan. That's where I got my care, and I thought it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like those small ways, like
Things.
of advice or
Yep.
can share some part of your experience that could just help them.
Yep.
Then definitely. And I also encourage my friends and my family, like, check your breasts, ask your family, is there a history of breast cancer? So I'm definitely like always talking to people just to make sure that they're educated enough to know what's going on in their body.
Yep, because
So,
it's almost like, you're advocating and you don't know that you're doing it. So especially
right.
when you've gone through it and you now know what to do. You now know how to help others to prevent it. It's like you said, it's the small things.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be anything big, but just something as simple as, are you getting your mammogram? Are you getting your mammograms once a year? Are you checking your breasts once a month? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? That's advocating.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
And as I was reading your bio, and as we were talking before the show, and you were saying, oh, I don't really do any advocacy work. I'm like, yes, she does. I know she. I'm gonna pull it out of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, she does, and she doesn't realize that she's doing it. But I'm so glad that that you're speaking the truth. You're advocating right now, just by sharing your story on this platform, because lots of women may not have that courage to share on platforms like this. Some people are private, and just again, I tell people, people that I meet, I use this as a safe space. This platform is a safe space for those to come in and just share their story, just to talk, just to have a chat, just to vent, cry, whatever it is, just to know that first and foremost you're human, and letting others know that may be going through breast cancer, that hey, there's someone else out there that looks like me, that's the same age, and maybe the same age as me, or in the same age bracket as me, that is going through this, and that has went through this, and look at them, they're okay. I can do that too, and it'll give them that will to fight. So we're 5 years in. As you look back on your journey, what was how has life changed for you? What's one thing that you now do differently, or how do you see life now?
That's such a good or series of questions. Things I do differently now. I feel like I've created boundaries now. I'm okay saying no. I'm okay saying I need to take time for myself. I'm okay being selfish, right? Like there's this negative connotation to being selfish. Like, sure, like there are people who, are selfish in a negative way, but it's talking about just like really honoring myself, my wants and my needs. And that's definitely not something I did before cancer, because before cancer, you think you have forever. You think you're untouchable in some ways, right? Like if you've never had another health scare. But it definitely makes you value time differently.
It does.
Yeah. And what was the other part of your question? How has life changed?
How's life changed for you?
Yeah. So, and I think I'm still navigating that, right? Like survivorship. So I used to think, okay, I had to get through, like in my mind, right? The fight moment, I got to get through surgery. Bam.
Yeah.
I got to get through edison. Bam. I got to get through chemo. Bam. I got to get through reconstruction. It's like, okay, now I'm good. But actually not, right? Because then the mental toll catch up with you. And so
that's a whole nother beast.
It definitely is. So I feel like I'm in that space where I'm trying to shed the fear. Yeah. I'm trying to live in the moment. And so, and I'm glad you asked me that, because I bought these Crush Your Goal cards.
Ooh.
And I picked up one day, and here's what it said, so it spoke to me, and I hope it speaks to everybody else in this call. But so it says, this is my daily mantra, sometimes minute by minute mantra, which is, quote, love yourself. Learn to love yourself and stay in this moment. This moment right here is where your power is. And I felt like that spoke to me
Oh,
because
wow. I
so
love that. I
yes,
love
right?
that.
So many times I'm thinking about, oh, I'm worried about whatever, right? Cancer coming back. What is this I feel? Or like, you just get so stuck in therapy.
Yes.
Don't even get to enjoy where you're at presently. Like that's me now. So I'm trying to rein it in. I'm trying to rein it in and just take control of my life again. So that's where I'm at 5 years out. But for whoever's on this call, it does get better. It's just you're managing different aspects of this whole
Yes.
stuff.
I absolutely love it. Thank you for just sharing your story, just sharing, your perspectives and how things obviously are just going well for you. So I'm going to bring in my next guest, introduce my next guest rather, who is another powerhouse who I actually met through another meetup. For those that are out there, I'm a facilitator for an online meetup group with Young Survivors Coalition, and I met this powerhouse, and I call all of my Thriver Sisters powerhouses because you are, and I'm just gonna call it what it is. You are a powerhouse, and powerhouse. She is in the great state of Georgia. She is in Atlanta. So shout out to everyone that's in Atlanta. She is a culinary enthusiast. She is a raw vegan chef, which I was like, oh, I can't wait to hear about this. And more importantly, she's also a breast cancer survivor. So everyone, please, if you are out there, please just give a warm welcome to my friend, my other survivor sister, Mr. Hazelyn Mack. Hi, sister girl. And I see
Hey,
you
how are
have
you?
your Delta Sigma Theta gear on. So we are Sister Greek. So shout out to the amazing women of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So hey, Sister Greek.
Hey, sister.
How you doing? Thank you
Good. How
so
are
much
you?
for good. I am so good. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to just spend some time in the tea room with us. So I'm just going to start off with, I had Jan share her story. So I want you, because you are not only a chef, but you are a survivor too. So can you just take a couple of minutes and just share your survivor story with us?
I was 41,
Okay.
living my best life. At that time, I had a 14-year-old, and I didn't even realize until today. I said, I'm trying to think of how old I was when I was diagnosed and how old my daughter was. And I'm like, I was 41 and she was my age backwards,
Wow.
14.
Wow.
I didn't
Okay.
even realize that until today. But yeah, thought I was living my best life, eating myself to death. One Wednesday, I woke up and my breast was red. So I thought I had slept on it wrong. So by the weekend, it was still red and hot. And so I asked my mom and my daughter to look at it. And she was like, girl, you just want somebody to look at you. And I was like, no, really, I want you to come look at it. So my daughter came and she was like, no, Brent, I think it's something wrong with my mom's breast. It's hot and it's kind of hard. So I ended up making an appointment. I had just had my yearly check. So when I showed back up at the doctor, he was like, what are you doing back here? And I was like, I think something's wrong with my breast. I need you to check it. So long story short, he sent me out to Northside because Piedmont didn't have any openings until after Thanksgiving. And he didn't want me to go through the holidays not knowing what was wrong with my breast. So he sent me over to Northside for a diagnostic mammogram. Well, that diagnostic mammogram turned into me getting a biopsy. And then coming back like that Monday or Wednesday, and them telling me that I had a very aggressive form of breast cancer and that I needed to have been seen like last week. And so everything for me moved really fast. I was diagnosed on October 31st. I had my first treatment November the 6th. So I was stage 3, almost 4. If anybody know anything about inflammatory breast cancer, you're already in stage 3 or 4 by the time that you were diagnosed.
Wow.
And I didn't have time to like really like sit in it. Only thing I knew was I had to fight for my daughter and fight for my mom. I had to fight to live.
They were
And
motivation.
the inflammatory breast cancer is normally found in obese African American women. I was obese. I was almost 300 pounds. I was right there at 300 pounds. So I did chemo, double mastectomy, radiation. I was HER2 positive. I did Herceptin for a year. But my attitude was I was going to live.
That's the attitude. That's half your battle. If you have that attitude and that determination that you're gonna beat it, you are definitely, you're going to, because if you don't, it's gonna beat you. Because you already have that mindset. Well, I'm already at stage 3, so there's probably nothing else that I can do. But you were determined. Your family, and especially your daughter was your motivation. So I know for me, it was when I was diagnosed at 36, and I was like, wait a minute, I got places to go and people to see. I got this whole world that God has created. I got to go and see this. So no, cancer. I may have cancer, but cancer will not have me.
Right.
And that's what I had, and that was the mindset that I had to have. And for those out there that are going through it, get in that fighting. I always say, get in that fighting spirit. Get that that mindset that you're gonna beat this, and when you do, you're gonna come out on top. And we got here's 3 thrivers right here that is living proof that can happen. So, good for you.
Yeah. My radiation oncologist at my 2-year appointment, when I walked in, he started crying. And I was like, why are you crying? He was like, I'm just so happy to see you. And I was like, why? Because they never told me that my life expectancy was 6 months to a year.
Wow.
And I said, why you all never told me? They was like, we could not come to tell you because every time you came to an appointment, your attitude was that you were living, you were asking us. He said, I remember vaguely, you said, my sorority's 100 is this year, and I got to go to DC. Can I go?
Oh, see, exactly. I know that's right. Motivation.
And he was like, you came to chemo, left chemo, hopped on the plane, came back that Monday to come back to treatment. He was like, how are we going to tell you that what the book said? He said, you were determined to live, and we were determined to help you live. So,
and look at
mindset.
Look at you now. That is again, you're right. It's that mindset. So let's go into this plant-based eating. Let's go into this vegan diet. How did you? At what point did you make that decision that, okay, I need to make this change in my eating habits, and how did we get to where you are right now in this journey?
So I've only been plant-based 3 years.
Okay.
And how I got to this part of my life is when I was going through my treatments, I would always wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning for some reason. And I would always say, God, are you what is it that you want me to get? Because you're always waking me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, are you trying to show me I'm going to die? What is it? And he was like, no, you're not going to die. You're going to be able to reach back and help those that are coming behind you. So 3 years ago, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was plain as day. He said, I gave you a second chance at life, and you have not changed anything. You are still doing the same thing you was doing prior to. I went cold turkey that day. I knew it was my eating because
Okay.
I was still eating the same way.
Okay.
And I knew that the type of cancer that I had came from being obese. I went cold turkey, didn't know what to do, didn't know what to eat. I said, you know what? He will order my steps and he will make sure that I'll go down the right path. And after doing it for a year, during COVID, I was like, you know what? I'm not the only one that has gone through cancer and out here just eating reckless. So I started looking for programs where I could go to culinary school to become, educated in it. Because I said, if I'm going to educate people on eating, I want to be able to really do that and know what I'm talking about. So I'm a certified chef. I graduated from culinary school. I've graduated from raw chef program. And plant-based, whole food plant-based. So that's how I got to where I am now.
So for someone that wants to make some changes in their eating habits, or may want to go the vegan route, what would be your suggestion for us to get started?
I would
give us some recommendations on
I would
what
tell
I need to be eating,
that person to understand their why.
Okay.
Your why is going to make you stay on this journey. Understand your why you want to do it. Once you understand your why, I would say take baby steps. Everybody can't go cold turkey. So if it's, this week, one meal I'm gonna make sure it's raw or whole food plant-based. And most of us are doing something raw. Even if we do a juice, that's raw. You see what I'm saying? If you eat a salad.
Salad. So my question was, so what are some foods that would be considered plant-based? So if we were to go to the grocery store and we wanted to start baby steps, so what's something
Everything on an hour. Everything on an hour. Area of the grocery store. Your vegetables. Make sure they're organic, not non-GMO.
Got it.
Stay away from the impossible. Stay away from the beyond.
Really?
Stay away from them fake meats. They are not good for you.
Jan,
if you cannot read your ingredients, you should be able to read the ingredients in your food. Turn impossible over. Turn beyond over. Turn those crumbles over. Turn the bag over. Even with the plant-based milk, Silk is not a good plant-based milk.
So what would you suggest?
I would suggest Elmhurst, which is in a white container with has a green top on it. It has maybe about 2 or 3 ingredients in it. Malk, M-A-L-K. You should be able to turn your labels around and read what's in it.
If I can't read it, then I don't need it.
If you can't read it, you need to put it down. Yeah. And it's so many things that you can do. Like you can, I don't know if you like mushrooms.
I love, yes.
There's so many different things that you can do with mushrooms. Lentils, sprouts, walnut meat. You can make meat out of nuts. You can make meat out of lentils. You can make your own taco shells. I mean, it's vegan. I say vegan because everybody can resonate with vegan. But you have to be careful with the terms. Because vegan is Impossible Burgers. Vegan is the mock meats and the mock stuff to try to pull you in. That's commercialized. That's not about your health. It has come so far from just eating salad. Stay away from the salad dressing. Make your own salad dressing. So I mean, it's going to require you to get in the kitchen, be creative. If you can cook on the SAD diet, you can cook in this diet.
And what's the SAG diet?
Standard American diet.
Standard American diet. Okay, got it. So if we can cook in the kitchen, we can cook anything in the kitchen. We can cook.
Yeah, because you're gonna season your food. You're just finding a alternative to what you like.
Okay.
You like chicken. Okay, oyster mushrooms taste just like chicken. Season it the same way. So instead of using, egg, you're gonna use some nut milk and squeeze some lemon or some apple cider vinegar to make you some buttermilk.
And what do you see are the benefits for having making this type of change, especially for people, women and men, because they get breast cancer too, that have breast cancer. So what do you see the benefits are for that?
Nutrition is the foundation of health.
Okay.
Food can either help you or hurt you.
Yes.
So you need to figure out, and people say, oh, eating this lifestyle is so expensive. Well, you're either going to pay on the front end or you're going to pay on the back end. So you make a decision whether or not you want to pay on the front end or the back end. I wished doctors knew more about nutrition than they do, because they really are not taught about nutrition. Because my doctor told me when I was going through treatments, I just want you to eat. I don't care what it is, but it's really not the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now
that I know better, I teach people that's coming behind me, the right things that they should be fueling their body with versus,
and I think that nutrition should be a part of your team of doctors when you are going through treatment, because for that very reason
right.
alone. So,
right. Because you can you can heal your body with the nutrition that you put in.
And your website, tell us about your website that you have, and what are some things that you do to engage?
Website is sacredbot.com.
Okay.
I offer meal prep. I offer one-on-one coaching. I do cooking classes. I will go to the grocery store with you. I will come and detox your kitchen, your house, because it don't just start with food. It starts with like the things that we put on our skin. This is the biggest organ we have. So the chemicals that we're putting on our skin, the toxin on our shoes when we're coming from outside, these plug-ins that we have we love for our house to smell good. These plug-ins that we're plugging in, these candles that we're burning, the pans, pots and pans that we're using.
Wow.
We use these non-stick pans. You scrape those pans. Well, what do you think those toxins are leaking out into your food? You flake it. The flakes are in your food. So we need to be using stainless steel, glass, cast iron. And now you got to be careful with the cast iron, because they're not making cast iron like they did when grandma
like they used to. Right. Wow.
So it's so much. It's so bigger than it's much bigger than just eating.
Man, you're in Georgia. Gosh, I wish you could fly up here to Maryland and come in and do a detox. And come and do a detox of stuff that I need.
I'm out of Maryland.
But hey, I need baby steps. I need like teeny time. I don't need baby steps. I need newborn steps, because I know me.
Let me tell you, you have to meet people where they are. You have to meet people where they are, because you want people to be able to stick with it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you can't just force it on them, and you just meet people where they are. Start small. And if you mess up today, start over again the next day. Don't beat yourself up about it.
And I think and I know that for me, I'm hard on myself when I come down to stuff like that. So thank you for that bit of information. And one of the followers that's watching, she was like, "No, not my candles, girl." Yeah,
Yes,
I
your
was
candles.
thinking about the candles too. I'm like, oh my gosh, all these candles I got in my house. I'm like, okay.
Right.
You
And
need
the
to
So
replace your candles with essential oils and
essential oils. Okay.
yep. And you have to be careful with the what you call it? Mm, the I forget what you call it, but the thing you put the essential oils in, the
The
diffuser.
diffuser? Oh,
You have to
okay.
be careful with that too. And the reason I say that is if you leave that water in there, water moves.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, I don't know about you, but I've learned a lot today. I have learned a lot today. One of the followers said, "Well, what about the?" Oh, she asked, "What about the diffusers?" And you just answered that. So make sure if you are using the essential oils and you're using the diffuser, make sure that you're dumping the water out and not letting the water sit in, so that
Right.
it won't mold. Yeah,
Don't let the
it
water
won't mold.
sit in, or making some now that are dry, like dry diffusers with no water.
Got it. That is
Yep.
such good information. And is all of this information on your website that we can go on and read about for those that may forget what we talked about today?
Just reach out to me.
Okay.
Go to my website. You can always go to my website or shoot me an email at info@sacredbud.com.
All
I'm
right.
more than welcome to, sit and have a consultation with you.
Okay. You have heard it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. I don't know about you, but I have been blessed today. This has been such a good chat. This has been such a good chat about healthy eating and why is it so important for us to live a different life, change our eating habits and living healthy, not only for those that have breast cancer, but everybody, and the benefits that it has. So thank you so much for that information. And we're going to, I don't want to end. God,
I know.
I can talk to both of you all day. So just so Jan, I'm gonna as we come to a close, I'm gonna give you a couple minutes, just any final thoughts that you want to share with everyone, or something that's on your heart that you want to share with us.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say keep going. Like wherever you're at in your journey, keep pushing, right? Like I hope we're like an example of like the places that we can all get to, right? At the end of the tunnel. So yeah, just keep going. That's my parting words.
Keep going. Don't stop. Keep going. Message has been received out there for those that are listening and watching. And Haviland, any parting words?
Yes, I would say anyone going through this journey, the one thing that I was very adamant about was people speaking life and not death over me. So always speak life over yourself. Find you some scriptures that you can meditate, lean on to get you through. Do not claim this disease. I never once said I had. I always said I was diagnosed with. So be careful with the words that come out your mouth and the words that other people that you let penetrate into you.
Absolutely. There's life and death in the power of the tongue. Don't give up. And there's life and death in the power of the tongue. Be mindful of what is being spoken over you. I can't think of any two better words of encouragement, final words. And that is real talk. Thank you. And Jan, how can people follow you on social media if they want to follow you? Because I know they will.
Yeah, so I'm at Write Something. So that's WRITE_something. And yeah, that's my handle.
All right. And Haviland, how can we follow you on social media so we can start eating?
I'm at Sacred Bod.
Sacred Bod. Is it sacredbod.com? correct?
Sacredbod.com is the website, and Instagram is @sacredbod. Chef
All
Fiji.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Chef Fiji, we have, those you have heard it, you have listened. I have been truly, truly blessed by this chat today, and know that you two are you two are no longer guests in the tea room. I will have you back. Because Haven, I know I'm going to have you coming back, and I may have you do some demonstrations
Okay.
on how we can eat better. And Jan, you coming back on because you're gonna do some more advocating, because and giving us some more words of encouragement,
All
because
for
you two have truly blessed my soul. Thank you, thank you, thank you for again taking the time out to come into the tea room and blessing us today and sharing and encouraging us. And we are going to, I always like to end off on a I love to dance. And so today we're celebrating life. We're celebrating healthy eating. We celebrate anniversaries. We celebrating just being here and being healthy. So I'm gonna play one of my favorite jams, and then we're gonna get into it, and we're gonna end this show. But I want to thank you again for coming into the tea room and blessing us today. So here we go. We celebrating.
Hey.
Because it's good times. We coming from Maryland. We coming from Georgia. I want to thank everyone again for coming on and listening to this wonderful conversation. Again, this is Tisha, your favorite breast cancer survivor, from Tisha's Tea Room, the place where conversations conquer cancer, because that's what we are doing. One chat at a time, we are conquering cancer. And I want to say, everyone have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Sunday. Jan DeHavilland, I love you, girls. Come back to the tea room. I'll see you soon.
Look, one time for you.
One time.